Somewhere in the world right now, a ship is being loaded with wheat. That wheat will feed millions of people. And the company that decided where it goes, at what price, and on what timeline is one you have almost certainly never heard of. There are 4 companies that sit between every farmer on earth and every person who eats. They are not supermarkets. They are not governments. They are not aid organizations. They are private trading firms. And together, they control somewhere between 70 and 90% of all global grain trade. You have never seen an advertisement for any of them. You have never walked past one of their shops. You have probably never said any of their names out loud. But every loaf of bread, every bowl of rice, every liter of cooking oil on your table passed through their system. They are called Archer Daniels Midland, Bunge, Cargill, and Louis Dreyfus. The industry calls them the ABCD companies. And once you understand what they actually do, the way you look at the global food system will never be the same. Most people think of food as a local thing. A farmer grows it, a truck picks it up, a shop sells it. That picture is about 100 years out of date. The modern food system is a global logistics machine. And like every logistics machine, it needs someone to coordinate it. Someone to move grain from a farm in Kansas to a mill in Egypt. Someone to match supply in Brazil with demand in China. Someone to finance the transaction, insure the cargo, and arrange the ship. That someone is the ABCD companies. They are commodity traders. They do not grow food. They move it, and they profit from every movement. Here is how large these companies actually are. Cargill, the biggest of the 4, generated $177 billion in revenue in its most recent financial year. Apple, one of the most famous companies ever built, generated $383 billion. So Cargill is roughly half the size of Apple, except you have heard of Apple. And Cargill has been operating since 1865. It is the largest private company in the United States. It has never been listed on a stock exchange. There are no public shareholders, no quarterly earnings calls, no journalists picking through the accounts. One family, one set of private books, more revenue than most countries. Louis Dreyfus, the smallest of the 4, is owned by a single-family trust based in the Netherlands. Bunge is listed but still controlled by the founding family structure. ADM is publicly traded, but operates in commodity markets so opaque that most analysts struggle to model its true margins. These are not companies that want to be understood. Opacity is part of the business model. So here is the actual question. How does moving grain give 4 companies this much power? The answer is infrastructure. The ABCD companies own or control the physical nodes that food must pass through to reach people. They own grain silos. They own port terminals. They own processing plants. They own ships. They own the software systems that track global supply and demand in real time. When a farmer in Argentina harvests soybeans, the most likely buyer is one of these 4 firms. Not because no one else wants to buy soybeans, because no one else has a silo nearby, a ship waiting, and a buyer lined up on the other side of the world. The infrastructure creates the captive market. The captive market creates the margin. In 2022, Russia invaded Ukraine. Ukraine produces roughly 10% of the world's wheat. Within weeks, global wheat prices rose by 60%. Bread prices in Egypt, which imports 80% of its wheat from the Black Sea region, became a national emergency. Governments across the Middle East and Africa went into crisis mode. And the ABCD companies? They reported record profits. Now, that is not necessarily sinister. When supply falls and demand stays constant, prices rise. That is how commodity markets work. The companies were not causing the war, but here is the part that matters. They were the ones who knew first. They have proprietary data on global supply and demand that no government, no NGO, and no journalist has access to. They knew the Ukraine harvest was going to fail before the markets did. They positioned accordingly, and they do this every year, every season, every crop cycle. The information advantage is not incidental. It is the business. Think about what you actually know about where your food comes from. You probably know the supermarket brand. You might know the country of origin. You almost certainly do not know who traded the underlying commodity, who moved the grain, who set the floor price, who decided which country got the supply, and which one had to pay more. This is not accidental. Consumer-facing food companies, Nestlé, Unilever, the supermarkets, are scrutinized constantly. They publish sustainability reports. They run advertising campaigns. They respond to journalists. The ABCD companies do almost none of this. They sell to food manufacturers and governments, not to you. And because you are not their customer, they have no incentive to explain themselves to you. In the last 15 years, food price spikes contributed to political instability in Tunisia, Egypt, Yemen, Bangladesh, Ethiopia, and Haiti. The 2007 and 2008 food crisis pushed over 100 million people into hunger, according to the UN. The price signals that triggered each of those crises moved through commodity markets. Markets where the ABCD companies are the largest participants. That does not make them responsible for poverty, but it does mean that 4 private companies with no democratic accountability have more influence over whether people eat than most governments do. The global food system has an architecture. Most people never see it. It was not designed to be visible. 4 companies built the infrastructure that food must pass through. They built it over 150 years, quietly, in places no one was watching, at the intersection of farming, shipping, processing, and finance. Cargill was founded in 1865, the year the American Civil War ended. Louis Dreyfus was founded in 1851, when most of the world's population still farmed their own food. They have been growing, acquiring, and consolidating ever since. Not because anyone handed them power, because they built the pipes that food flows through, and once the pipes are built, everyone uses them. The next time a drought hits a major grain region and your grocery bill goes up, the mechanism is not mysterious. A commodity trader in Geneva or Minneapolis saw it coming, positioned their contracts, and adjusted the price before the first news report was filed. That is not illegal. That is just the system. And 4 companies built it.